Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to discuss reading comprehension. This is exercise passage 7. Let's begin. First of all, index. Exercise questions based on passage 7 along with answers and explanations and summary as well. And the disclaimer is the images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Let's read the directions. Read the following passages carefully and answer the given questions. Certain words phrases are given in bold in the passages to help you locate them while answering some of the questions. Questions are to be answered on the basis of the information provided in the passage, and you are not expected to rely on outside knowledge of a particular topic, or your own views or opinions may sometimes conflict with the views expressed or the information provided in the passage. Be sure that you work within the context of the passage. You should not expect to agree with everything you encounter in reading passages. You should analyze the passage carefully before answering the accompanying questions. Look for clues that will help you understand less explicit aspects of the passage. Try to separate ideas from supporting ideas or evidence. Note transition from one idea to the next and examine the relationships among different ideas or parts of the passage. For example, are they contrasting? Are they complementary? Consider the points the author made, the conclusion drawn, and how and why those points are made or conclusion are drawn. Read each question carefully and be certain that you understand exactly what is being asked. Always read all the answer choices before selecting the best answer. The best answer is the one that accurately and completely answers the questions being posed. Be careful not to pick an answer choice simply because it is a true statement. Be careful also not to be misled by answer choices that are only partially true or only partially satisfy the problem posed in the question. The methodology of eliminating wrong answers also work here. It simply means that if you are unable to judge the right choice or right answer, cross the answers that are incorrect. In this way, if there remains one answer to be crossed, that will be the correct answer. I hope you have understood all the directions. Let's begin with questions. Question number 1. The passage is, there was a time in my life when beauty meant something special to me. I guess that would have been when I was about 6 or 7 years old. Just several weeks or maybe a month before the orphanage turned me into an old man. I would get up every morning at the orphanage, make my bed just like the little soldier that I had become, and then I would get into one of the two straight lines and march to breakfast with the other 20 or 30 boys who also lived in my dormitory. After breakfast, one Saturday morning, I returned to the dormitory and saw the house parent chasing the beautiful monarch butterflies that lived by the hundreds in the bushes strewn around the orphanage. I carefully watched as he caught these beautiful creatures one after the other and then took them from the net and then stuck trace pins through their head and wings, pinning them onto a heavy cardboard sheet. How cruel it was to kill something of such beauty. I had walked many times out into the bushes all by myself just so the butterflies could land on my head, face, and hands, so I could look at them up close. When the telephone rang, the house parent laid the large cardboard paper down on the back cement step and went inside to answer the phone. I walked up to the cardboard and looked at the one butterfly who he had just pinned to the larger paper. It was still moving about, so I reached down and touched it on the wing, causing one of the pins to fall out. It started flying around and around trying to get away, but it was still pinned by the one wing with the other straight pin. Finally, its wing broke off and the butterfly fell to the ground and just quivered. I picked up the torn wing and the butterfly and I spat on its wing and tried to get it to stick back on so it could fly away and be free before the house parent came back. But it would not stay on him. The next thing I knew, the house parent came walking back out of the back door by the garbage room and started yelling at me. I told him that I did not do anything, but he did not believe me. He picked up the cardboard paper and started hitting me on the top of the head. There were all kinds of butterfly pieces going everywhere. He threw the cardboard down on the ground and told me to pick it up and put it in the garbage can inside the back room of the dormitory, and then he left. I sat there in the dirt by that big old tree for the longest time trying to fit all the butterfly pieces back together so I could bury them whole. But it was too hard to do so. So I prayed for them and then I put them in an old torn up shoe box and I buried them in the bottom of the fort that I had built in the ground. Out by the large bamboos near the blackberry bushes, every year when the butterfly would return to the orphanage and try to land on me, I would try and shoo them away because they did not know that orphanage was a bad place to live and a very bad place to die. I hope you've understood the passage. So let's move to the questions. Question number 1. Which of the following is not true in the context of the passage? Options are: the author liked watching the house parents stick the butterflies on the cardboard. The author felt that killing butterflies was a cruel thing to do. The house parents stuck the butterflies on the cardboard paper. The author tried to repair one wing of the butterfly. The fifth one is all of the above are true. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 1. The author liked watching the house parents stick to the butterflies on the cardboard. And the explanation is: in the passage, the author describes feeling distress and sorrow when witnessing the house parent capturing and killing the butterflies. The author explicitly states how cruel it was to kill something of such beauty, indicating that he did not enjoy or approve of the house parent's actions. Therefore, option 1 is not true in the context of the passage. The other statements 2, 3, and 4 accurately reflect the author's feelings and observations, making them true in the context of the passage. Thus, option 1 stands out as the only false statement. I hope you have understood. The next question is: why was the author trying to fit all the butterfly pieces back together? Options are: because he was told to do so by the house parent, because he was responsible for the death of the butterflies, because the house parent would yell at him otherwise, because he was able to find all the pieces, and fifth, none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose one of these. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5, none of the above. And the explanation is: the author was trying to fit all the butterfly pieces back together out of a sense of grief and responsibility for the butterflies that had been harmed. He felt a deep sorrow for their loss and wanted to honor them by attempting to piece them back together for a proper burial. This act was motivated by his compassion and desire to show respect for the beauty and life for the butterflies, rather than being prompted by an external pressure from the house parent or sense of obligation to fix a mistake. None of the provided options accurately reflect his true motivation, making none of the above the appropriate choice. The next question is: which of the following words can be used to describe the author? Cruel, adventurous, daring, caring, and none of these. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 4, caring. And the explanation is: throughout the passage, the author's actions and thoughts reveal a deep empathy and concern for the butterflies. He is distressed by the house parents' cruel treatment of them and shows a desire to protect the butterflies by trying to shoo them away from the orphanage, which he perceives as a dangerous place. Additionally, he attempts to save the pinned butterfly, showing compassion in wanting to help it even after it has been harmed. These actions and feelings highlight a caring nature, contrasting sharply with the cruelty displayed by the house parent. Thus, the author is the best described as caring. What did the author do with all the butterfly pieces? Options are: he stuck all the pieces together, he put them in a shoe box and buried them in the ground, he gave them away to the house parent, he threw them away in the garbage can. Fifth, none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 2. He put them in a shoe box and buried them in the ground. And the explanation is: in the passage, the author explicitly describes gathering the butterfly pieces, placing them in an old torn up shoe box, and then burying them in the ground. This act demonstrates his compassion for the butterflies and a desire to honor them their memory after their tragic fate. If you meant to say that option 2 is incorrect, please clarify. However, based on the passage, the author's action aligned with the option 2, making it the accurate choice. In the passage, what has the author compared orphanage to? Options are an educational institute, an old age home, a nursery, a military school, and none of these. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 4, a military school. And the explanation is in the passage, the narrator describes their experience in the orphanage using terms that evoke a sense of discipline and resignation, such as to make my bed just like the little soldier and march to breakfast. This language suggests a structured, strict environment similar to that of a military school, where conformity and discipline are emphasized. The comparison highlights the loss of childhood innocence and freedom in a place that imposes order and control, contrasting sharply with the beauty and freedom associated with the butterflies. Thus, the orphanage is portrayed as a place that stifles the natural beauty and joy of childhood, much like a military institution would. The next question is, what did the house parent ask the author to do? Options are to tend to the butterflies while he was gone, to fetch butterflies for him, to throw the cardboard paper in the garbage can, to stick all the butterflies back together before burying them, and none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 3, to throw the cardboard paper in the garbage can. And the explanation is in the passage after the house parent comes back from the phone call, he becomes angry and tells the author to pick up the cardboard paper and put it in the garbage can inside the back room of the dormitory. This instruction reflects the house parent's authoritative and dismissive attitude towards the butterflies, as well as the author's role in cleaning up aftermath of the incident. The other options do not accurately represent any instructions given by the house parent in the passage, making option 3 the correct choice. The next question is, why were butterfly pieces were flying everywhere? Options are because the author realized that the house parent was not doing the right thing, because the house parent went to attend a phone call, because the house parent did not pin the butterflies correctly, because the author picked up the cardboard paper, and none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5, none of the above. And the explanation is in the passage, the butterfly pieces flew everywhere when the house parent picked up the cardboard and started hitting the author on the head. This action caused the butterflies that were pinned to the cardboard to scatter. The flying pieces are a result of the house parent's violent reactions rather than any of the other options presented. Therefore, since none of the options accurately explained why the butterfly pieces were flying everywhere, none of the above is the correct answer. The next question is, why had the otter walked into the bushes many times? Options are so that he could save the butterflies, so that the butterflies could sit on his head, face, and hands, so that he could give the butterflies to the house parent, so that he could kill the butterflies, and none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 2, so that the butterflies could sit on his head, face, and hands. Explanation is, it is mentioned in the passage that the author walked into bushes so that butterflies could sit on his head, face, and hands, as can be seen in the last sentence of the first paragraph. I had walked many times out into the bushes all by myself just so the butterflies could land on my head, face, and hands so I could look at them up close. I hope you understood. The next question is, why did the butterfly's wings break off? Options are because the house parent had broken it, because the author broke one wing, because one of its wings was still pinned to the cardboard and it tried to fly away, because the butterfly fell on the ground, and none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 3 because one of its wings was still pinned to the cardboard and it tried to fly away. And the explanation is in the passage. The author describes how he touched the pinned butterfly's wing, causing one of the pins to fall out. The butterfly then tried to fly away while still being partially pinned by the other wing. As it struggled to escape, one of its wings broke off. This explains and aligns directly with the events described in the passage, making option 3 the accurate answer. The other option do not correctly capture the cause of the butterfly's wings breaking, as they misrepresent the actions and circumstances outlined in the text. The next question is why would the author try to shoo away the butterflies which tried to land on him? Options are because he thought that the butterflies would suffer a very bad death if they stayed in the orphanage, because the house parent had warned him against it, because the butterflies were too many in number, because the author did not like the butterflies sitting on him, and the fifth one is none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 1 because he thought that the butterflies would suffer a very bad death if they stayed in the orphanage. And the explanation is in the passage. The author reflects on the cruelty he witnessed when the house parent captured and killed the butterflies. This traumatic experience led him to believe that the orphanage was a dangerous space for the butterflies. When he tries to shoo them away, it is motivated by a protective instinct. He does not want to them to suffer the same fate as the butterflies he saw pinned and killed. This connection between his past experiences and his action illustrates his understanding of the orphanage as a place where beauty and innocence are not safe, prompting him to shield the butterflies from harm. I hope you have understood. So, this is all about this session. Thank you.